All right, everybody, how are you doing? Excited for you to be with us today in our live cast. We're going to be going through one of the most important things in real estate investing right now, which is the complete guide to off market real estate investing. You see, it used to be a lot easier years ago, and even just 2 years ago, before COVID, in finding real estate investment deals using the multiple listing services. However, those days are long gone. If you want to find properties, you're going to have to go direct to seller if you want to find those great deals. Because as you know, there's a laundry list of people waiting to get deals to move into. So if you want to take advantage of things and take your real estate investing to start or to the next level, you've got to be finding off market properties. So today we're going to be going through the complete guide to getting off market real estate properties. So happy that you're with me today. We've got a couple of people I want to give some shout outs to. Lawanda, thanks for being with us. Jay, thank you for being with us. Let's see here. Who else we've got here? Anyway, we'll be giving some shout outs as time goes on. Let's get into this. All right, guys, we are going to chat about, so let's hit that again, slides. There we go. Should be showing up down here. Let's make sure this is working here. The complete guide to real estate off-market properties. Want to go through this in some detail. There's a few things that you're going to be learning today. You will be learning finding tips for vacant homes. We're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about what is an off-market property. We're going to talk about why real estate investors look for off-market properties, how to determine equity on a property, how much equity is there, my recommendations for finding off-market properties. Real quickly, I don't know if my camera's working. If I'm not down in the corner, will you put it in the comments and let me know if you can see me okay. Today's agenda, we do welcomes and updates. This is the same every single week. We do welcomes and updates. We'll talk about some real estate news. We'll have a finding tip of the week, something you can do this week to go find properties. It's different every single week. We're also going to go through a topic of the week, which today is that complete guide to finding off-market properties. As always, we do a free t-shirt giveaway, and we do a free tool of the week, something you can use absolutely for free. We got to give a couple of shout outs here. Let's see here. Roche is here. Roche, thanks for being with us. Really appreciate it. Top Real Estate Kid, what's up? Who is the top real estate kid? Let's see here. Chris, thanks for being with us. Oh, you can't see me. Thanks for getting back to me on that, Chris, so we know what's going on here. Maybe we're going to get it fixed. I don't know. So here we go. And Top Real Estate Invest in Georgia. Thanks for being with us. As you know, this show is for entertainment purposes only. And before you make any financial moves, make sure you consult with a real estate professional, attorney, CPA, or other professionals in that subject matter. Everybody's situation's different. There's no one size fits all. There's no one size fits all. DHM may receive payments on the show for sponsorships, guests, forms of giveaways, books, items, discounts, other remediations. As with anything in life, results come from education, following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through until the end. Okay, guys, welcome, welcome. So many of you have said hello already, but if you haven't said hello, please do drop your name and the state you're investing in and let me know. I really appreciate it. If you're watching this as a recording, please join us live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. When you come and do that, you can ask questions just like Roche just asked me. Do you consider wholesale brokers off market? So when you say wholesale brokers, I assume you're referring to wholesalers that are not listed on the multiple listing service. Yes, I consider those off market, but I also consider them highly competitive. And that's not going to be one of the ones we're going to be talking about today, because I think you're better off learning how to go directly to sellers and finding deals than you are relying on someone else. Roche, I hope that helps. If not, put some more comments in here. And for those of you that are joining us on the recording, please join us live so you can ask questions just like this one. Latanya from Georgia, thanks for being, man, Georgia's in the house here. We got, who is the top real estate kid? What's your name? We'd love to know, because we got you from Georgia. We've got Latonia from Georgia. Roche, are you in Georgia as well? Yeah, Roche's in Atlanta. Holy cow, we just got Georgia everywhere. This is awesome. Thanks so much for being with me today. Okay, guys, t-shirt giveaway. We are giving away a shirt. We do it every single week. At the end of this live cast, we'll give away last week's winner, and you will be competing to be next week's winner of our t-shirt giveaway. Now, we pay for the shirt, we pay for the shipping, we send it right to you. The only thing we ask, and we need to add this in here, is that, Kate, if you can jot that down and let John know, we need to add this. We want to have a picture of you. Roche, I know you've gotten your shirt. Would love to see you on social media with that. So, Kate, if you can tell everybody how to do that, if they have been a winner in the past, in our comments, and please get with John and let's add that in our slides here because I'd love to have it. So here, who wants a free shirt? We got a couple of shirts. Let me just let's just do this so you can see here. This is our new Flipping Legend shirt. This is our 3/4 Flipping Legend shirts. We've got that one. This is our summertime Flipping Legend shirt. So this one's cool. It's got our little logo on the side there. Love that one. This is our general contractors project manager shirt. I made it through rehab. I love that one. And then also we've got our, this is one of my favorites, I Flippin' Did It shirts. So we got those. We're going to be giving one of those away today, and we'll be sending that out to you. So if you want to be a t-shirt winner, all you got to have you do is ask great questions, leave positive comments, not just in the chat today, but also on the recorded video, have high interaction and comment on that recorded video as we just said as well. And with that, we will choose one winner, and that winner of the week will be mailing everything out to you. All right, let's see if I can get this thing to work. Here we go. If you like these live casts and you want to see them continue, I really need your help. Okay, guys? Need your help here. Currently, we're at 5,180 subscribers. My goal by the end of May, which according to my watch is just about less than a week away, is to get to 5,200 subscribers, which means I'm looking for 20 new subscribers to add this month. Every single day, I do a Just Ask Ryan video. These videos are like anywhere from 3 minutes to 10, maybe 12 minutes at the top, where we answer a specific question. And one of the cool things I do for our subscribers is you can type in a comment of a question you'd like to have me answer, and I'll create a video just like this. Here's some new ones we just put out: a deed in lieu versus short sale, house flipping partnership agreements. Those are some new ones we just put out, but I put out a new one every single day. So please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Now, if you're currently not a subscriber of Do Hard Money, if you could please go and subscribe now. And if you do, I'll be giving you a shout out and saying thank you myself and personally. And so just subscribe to our Do Hard Money channel. Hit that bell notification. Great thing about that bell notification is that it will alert you when we do live, and it is free to do. Leave a comment on that recorded video, and please tell someone else about it. Really appreciate it. So what are you going to get today? This is my free giveaway, something I do every single week as we have a free gift for you as to something you can use in your real estate investing. And today we're going to be giving away a property value analysis. That property value analysis helps you break down how much that property is really worth, so that you make sure you're not overpaying for the property, and you make sure that you're planning on getting the correct resale price on that property. That's what we're going to be giving away today. If you'd like to get a copy of that, hang till the end of this live cast, and I'll give you the opportunity to download that so you can get a copy of it. All right, guys, a couple of shout outs here. I want to say, love the shirt, says Top Real Estate Kid. Awesome. You can be one of them. I still need to know your name, Top Real Estate Kid. You're incognito. Roche, will do soon. Yeah, Roche, we want that picture of you in the shirt. That'd be killer. Post your shirt on facebook.com/DoHardMoney. Can't wait to see it. Let's see here. Yeah, please help us get the 5,000. Derma, absolutely subscribe. Derma, did you just barely subscribe? If so, thank you so much for being our newest Do Hard Money subscriber. Really appreciate it. Okay. What's a couple of things in the news, guys? We're gonna jump up. We're gonna jump into this with some of the real estate news, but before that, I need to grab a drink here. All right, I'm ready to go. There's some interesting things this week that you need to know about. So what you need to know, there's some changes that are happening to some of the lending rules on how real estate professionals and some things they need to do to prepare, according to Forbes. On March 10th, 2021, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae announced that they will be buying fewer second home and investment mortgages. This is really important, especially if you want to be doing some BRRRR deals. Recent amendments to our senior preferred stock purchase agreement with the Treasury imposed additional risk criteria on loans we acquire. One of those restrictions is a 7% limit on our acquisition of single-family mortgage homes secured by second homes. This is interesting, guys. We got to keep our eye on this for sure, because we got to make sure we know what we're doing here. So buyers who are already pre-qualified by lenders shouldn't be shocked to find out that the possible surcharge or even denial, meaning they say, sorry, we're no longer going to do this loan, or they may charge you more money to make this loan happen. Conventional lending is still offered, but it's likely to be offered at a higher rate. So what you've got to realize with this is you're going to be paying a little bit more. That's really what it comes down to. And hopefully it's not more severe than that. All things real estate. Will there be a bubble? Will there ever be a bubble? Well, one important factor to consider is the Dodd-Frank law the banks made that scrutinized their loan requirements. You see, if they eliminated what were called the no-doc subprime loans, which has happened back in 2009, 2010. It was after the 2008 real estate correction that they came and said there's no more no-doc loans. Now, let me tell you, if you didn't know what a no-doc loan was, you're in for a little treat. Basically, you did not have to provide any evidence, anything. You could just say, I made $100,000 a year, and the only thing that the bank would do is they would look and say what your position is, and then they would do a match to see if that's fair salary. So if you said, hey, my position is a marketing genius, they would look and say, what do marketing geniuses make, and whatever you claimed. This opened the door for people to really take advantage of things. And that's one of the things that they believe really helped to make 2008 real estate crisis just happen. And so with some of the downturns, it's subject to underwater mortgages. So those finance requirements are much more strict than they've ever been before. And that's why a lot of people are saying, I don't know if we're going to see a bubble like we did before, because these measures were put in place in 2008 with the idea that would stop us from going into another real estate meltdown. It's something that we need to consider and something that we really need to be keeping our eye on. So, a couple of things here as we get my slides going. Hopefully you can see those here. I'm not quite sure how builders can increase required inventory to satisfy demand today into the future, as land values have ever increased, as well as lumber and component costs to be able to build homes. We're experiencing a perfect storm for both sellers and qualified purchasers. Unless there's some catastrophic event, I don't see prices going down anytime soon. So this is really interesting, guys. Basically, what's happening is they're saying we don't see things changing here anytime soon, because basically builders are not able to keep up with the demand necessary to make that happen. They're just not able to. You've got issues with lumber prices, componentry costs, and much more. And so the idea is, and I've been concerned about this for quite some time. Frankly, when COVID happened, I thought that's going to be the beginning of the end. It's really just going to make real estate crash. And what we've seen is the exact opposite. But keep in mind, this is all because of a supply and a demand. The issue basically is we don't have enough houses to keep up with the people that want them. And even if we had more houses, there's so much more demand that it needs to reach an equilibrium. Now, there's no question here, guys. At some point, we're gonna get to an equilibrium, or we may see prices leveling off or going down just a little bit. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is a serious crash. We're talking about seeing the real estate market just really tank. That's what we're talking about here, and that's what we're concerned about. And according to some of these experts, they're saying we don't see this as something that's actually going to be occurring anytime soon. It's important that we keep that into consideration. Now, Realtor.com, we did an analysis of the April 2021 housing report. National inventory declined by 53% over last year, which is back to what we're talking about before. We're seeing that real estate is going down, and we want to make sure that we're ready for that, right? We want to make sure that we know what's happening, because if there's less inventory there, then there's going to be more competition as long as there's enough buyers to support that. Newly listed homes on the market are up 32.6% nationally compared to the onset of COVID-19 pandemic a year ago, by 43% in larger metro areas over the last year. Sellers are still listing at rates lower than previous years. The national median price was $375,000, which was up 15.6% over last year. Also, homes were shorter on the market. Usually they're 43 days on the market, and that's 23 days less than it was the year before. And keep in mind, the year before, things were rocking the year before as well. Some things to keep in mind here as you're looking for it. Let's see here. Derma subscribed last week. Thank you for being there. Mark is with us from Azle, Texas. Thanks for being here, Mark. Appreciate you being with us. Mark, I think you're you've been a t-shirt winner of the week. If so, please post your pictures and facebook.com/DoHardMoney, because we'd love to see you with our gear. And Kate, when you get those, make sure you send them out to the team, because everybody here wants to see our amazing livecast subscribers with us as well. As housing supply shortage intensifies, prices jump 18%. The median home sale price increased 18% year over year to $344,000. Guys, what that means is if you paid $100,000 for a house last year, it's worth $118,000 this year. This is insane growth. We don't see stuff like this ever. Never seen it in the last 21 years of real estate investing that I've been involved with. Is the housing market about to crash? Here's why the experts answer say no, like we talked about. 6 compelling reasons that no crash is imminent. Inventories are at record lows. Builders can't build quickly enough to meet the demands. Mortgage rates remain near historic lows. Demographic trends are creating new buyers, and lending standards remain strict, which is what we talked a little bit earlier when we talked about the Dodd-Frank Act and those things. Foreclosure activity is muted, and I think we'll be seeing some changes on that in the near future here with the foreclosure activity, which will actually help alleviate some of this concern. Let's see here. Mark, I have not won a shirt just yet. Come on! R3 Mark a bowl. Let's be the t-shirt winner of the week this week, man. Let's do it. Home buyers warn of builder contracts. This is really interesting, guys. Does the home builder have the right to cancel a contract? Can the builder pass on labor and material price increases? Does the builder have the right to increase the purchase price? And the answer is, in most cases, yes. It's going to vary from builder to builder, and it's also going to vary based upon what the contract actually says, because a contract is a mutual agreed upon instrument, which means you already agreed to it. You just didn't read it or understand it, but you've already agreed to that if you went into a contract with a home builder, because in the end, it's land, it's labor, and it's materials. That's what the general contractor is paying for. And then if those things go up significantly, they could be underwater, and so they can protect themselves. And so it's a difficult time right now. And yes, they do have the right in lots of cases. Got to read the contract. It's something you should be interested in, or something that you should know about. Real estate prices soar across this country. In addition to that, we're seeing lumber prices sky high. However, we are expecting to see those dip by the end of this year. Mark's asked me your thoughts on the upcoming Fed meeting, June 15th through 16th. it's interesting. I think the Feds are going to raise interest rates. That's really the end. I don't think it's going to be crazy, but I think they're going to raise some interest rates. I think they're going to have to. I realize that's going to put more pressure. It's going to help alleviate some of the pressure because some people will wait to buy. That's kind of my thoughts. But in the end, I also have to tell you, Mark, I really don't stay on top of the Federal Reserve. What I try and do is deal with what happens and find the best ways to make money around it, regardless. And that's the same thing with presidential elections, with Federal Reserves, whatever the case is. Like, you play the cards you're dealt. And so what I try and do is have a big enough arsenal. So regardless of what happens, I have the ability to profit and make money. I may have to pivot. I may have to make some changes, but that's kind of my thing. But I do think raising rates, and it sounds like you believe so as well, Mark. About 4.8 million home buyers that are millennials are turning 30 in 2021, and many are expected to enter the home buying game. Millennials are getting older and entering a new stage of life, casting off their long-held monikers of the renter generation, according to Realtor.com. Mark's saying, I think I'll nudge up a little silver. Yeah, if you can find it. Right now, it's hard to find precious metals if you want to have the physical thing. And if you're buying ETFs, obviously, you can buy that way. We talked about, by the numbers, 43% of first-time millennial homebuyers have been looking for a house for more than a year. COVID-19 put jet fuel on big city exoduses, and the Daily Digest for Real Estate Investing Million Acres says, the best of times and the worst of times saga, serious lag on demand. It's a great time to sell and not a great time to buy. We've talked about this before, but I just don't think it's covered enough. Biden is talking about making some changes to 1031s. This is a big deal if you own any property or are looking to make any tax-free exchanges, because under IRS code 1031, you're able to do a deferred tax exchange, which means if you sell a property and you 1031 it and you put your debt and your equity into the newer property, and there's a time frame in those things, you pay zero taxes on that at that point, and then you'll pay it at a later point. But you can keep 1031ing, so you can move those 1031s into more properties to really defer taxes for quite some time. It's been a strategy used by real estate investors for a long time. It's ethical, it's above board, it's the way it's supposed to be, but Biden's looking at making some changes because his team noted they would target lifetime exchanges last summer if they took the White House, which we know they did. How Biden's tax proposal could impact real estate investors. Another big item under consideration is the ability for non-residential owners to depreciate improvements. Basically, if you're a landlord, what you can do is you can do what's called an accelerated depreciation. So rather than depreciating things over 39 years. Now, what does that mean exactly? It basically means if you have a furnace on a property and the furnace only has 5 years left of life, you can get an audit on that and say, hey, this really only has 5 years worth of life, and you can depreciate that over 5 years, which is going to cut down on your tax liability and thus keep more money in your pocket. Now, what Biden's wanting to do is do a standard 39-year depreciation, which doesn't give you anything accelerated, which is okay, but it's a big advantage that real estate investors were taking that they may not be able to in the future. So keep your eyes open on that, your ears to the ground, and if you hear something, let's talk about it. All right, guys, if you have questions as I'm going through this, please type them in the comments, because that's what I'm here for, is get those answered, just like Mark's been asking me questions, and who else just asked me a question earlier? Rashay. There are more real estate agents than homes for sale in the United States. How the U.S. housing market was rocked by COVID-19 and where we go from here. The lack of existing home sales was only part of the problem, though builders have struggled to ramp up construction on new homes, particularly the most popular single-family models. How the U.S. housing market was rocketed. Well, once the moratorium on foreclosures ends, homeowners who haven't been able to financially rebound from the crisis may be forced to sell, and this could add to the supply of properties, which would help alleviate some of the concerns. You can see here we were at 1.2 to 1.5 properties back. Let's see here, the year here we're talking 2015 to 2017, and as of now you can see we're down to 468 for the same time, just not enough houses. 2.72 million houses still remain in forbearance, and the housing market is tight. People on average are staying in their house 13 years, which is up a little more than the 12.8 it was in the past. All right, guys, what questions do you have about the news and some of the real estate things that are happening out there? Please type it in the comments so I can get those questions answered for you. And we're going to jump into our property finding tip. But first, I need to get a drink of water. Okay, guys, every single week I come up with a way to find properties, a property finding tip of the week. We do that every single week, which we will do that again today. Keeping in mind our main event is finding off-market properties as well. But property finding tip of the week is vacant homes. We're going to talk about how to find vacant homes. We are going to talk about why finding vacant homes alone isn't enough. You can't just find the vacants. We're going to talk about this. Vacant properties. What does this mean? It means no one is living in the property. But how do we know this? Well, if you send a piece of mail and that mail gets returned as non-deliverable, that becomes a public record, and based upon that public record, we can then get a list of those. So why is this important? Well, here's the deal, guys. Vacant homes are liabilities. Most homes have mortgage payments. Who's making that mortgage payment? Most homes need some love. How will they cut the grass? How will, if the pipes burst in the winter, who's going to deal with that? Well, that's a major liability. And in the end, a vacant home is a great opportunity for an investor and a liability to the homeowner because they've got to do something about it. But the question really is how can you tell the difference between vacant homes and second homes or vacation homes, right? Because we don't want to be going after people that are using it as a second home. They're not going to be in a distressed type situation. Well, this is done by the mail deliverable as we talked about, but the way that you make sure that it's not in a vacation home is you look area by area. And with this, you just have to use some common sense. You know, if you're in a beachfront town, your certain areas that you know are primarily vacation properties, or if you're in a certain area or a certain price range. So you've got to do some research in your specific area and know the area where second homes are. For example, for me, it's a place called Park City, Utah. There's a lot of second homes in Park City, Utah. But one thing I do know in Park City, Utah is those price range of second homes are fairly high. And so if I exclude higher price ranges, I'm in a lot of cases going to be getting rid of those second homes from my research. I can determine zip codes that I want to stay away from where there's primarily second homes, and there's a lot of other areas that we can go into, so we want to make sure we're going into the right area. So knowing a property is vacant is not enough though. But before I do that, let's see here. Reeves, thank you, Ryan. You bet, absolutely. Mark, do you recommend 203 in an area where their volume is low? Mark, the 203K loan, just for anybody who's asking here, this is basically a loan for a homeowner that's going to be going into a property, rehabbing the property. Now, one of the big disadvantages of 203K loans is the amount of time. I'm hearing it's taking anywhere from 3 months to 6 months to close on a 203K loan. Reason being that you've got to get contractor bids, and the bigger problem you're going to have is getting someone to accept your offer. If you want to get a 203K loan, somebody's got to accept the offer and accept the time frames. So I think a 203K loan is probably one of the worst things you can do right now. However, if you are looking for a homeowner opportunity, that can be a great opportunity if there's enough inventory on the market. Mark, hope it helps. Let me know. Let's see here, Reeves. Fantastic. So knowing a property is vacant is simply not enough. Okay, so equity. If there's an out-of-state owner, but it has no equity on their home, it's not going to be a good opportunity where we can help them out. So I like to look at a few things. I like to look at single family, condos, and townhouses. I like to look at things that aren't listed on the multiple listing service, not listed with an agent. I like to look at failed listings, you know, it failed on the MLS. And I like to look at things that are under $500,000 in estimated value with 30% or more of equity. So the question is like, how do I do this? So we've got a lot of people from Georgia today. So I'm going to put in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're going to talk about this. If you're Investors Edge, if you're members, you have access to our Investors Edge, and we create buckets that you can actually see. So let's talk about this just for a minute. We are going to... Hopefully hit this button and away we go, guys. Okay, so here we're gonna say Atlanta, Georgia, which I've got preset right there. So in Atlanta, Georgia, what we're looking for here, we've got these preset buckets, right? So one of these is vacant properties. There are 3,029 vacant properties, but that's not all we've done here, folks. It's a vacant property, it's a residential property, it's a single family condo townhouse. It is not listed on the market with an agent. They've owned it for a year or greater, and it's worth $500,000 or less, and they've got 30% or more in equity. These are people that you want to be going after. These are properties that we should be looking at and properties we should be marketing to. And there's 3,029 of these. The question is, if you called all of these, could you make a deal happen? And statistically, the answer to that is yes. So that's what we want to be doing. That's what we want to be going after to make some things happen here, guys. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to build your list. So you click and you check on your list, you create add to the list, you create the new list, you name the list. And the way you do this and naming things is important. I like to do things zip code, city, state, the type, and the date. So let's talk about this just for a minute and show you exactly how to do this. So we've got all these properties. There's 3,000 of them. I'm just going to grab a couple of these so you can make a list. You could grab all 3,000 of these if you wanted to, but I'm just going to grab a few of these. I'm going to click on add to list. I'm going to create a new list, and I'm going to put the zip code. I don't know. I'm doing all of Atlanta, and then I'm going to put these are vacant, and then I'm equity. So you can name this. You get the gist of this. This is just for your own purposes. So you can save and you can put the date here. Once you save it, now you actually have a marketing list you can actually go after. So take a minute, save those couple of properties, and then I come here, and the next thing I'm going to look to do is actually do some skip tracing, and I can select those contacts that I just barely added, and I can move forward with my skip tracing that we're doing. So that's kind of the next important thing here is the skip trace. With the skip trace, it gives you the ability to just pick up the phone and make a phone call. And you get that by doing the skip trace. You can also send a voice broadcast, you can send a postcard, but the skip tracing is one of the things that I highly recommend doing. I did 2 test skip traces. You get the contacts, you can skip trace, you can click on the phone number, and then you can actually make a phone call to them. So let's just jump back so we can look at what we're doing here. Once we do those, we select those, we hit done, you pay for the skip trace. Right now, the current price is 12 cents a piece, and you will end up with the phone numbers and email addresses for the best that we can possibly find. And if we cannot find one, then you don't have to give us a call. So, or you don't have to pay for that. So then you can start a new campaign, decide what type of campaign you want to do. And we can, this is a new campaign. We'll just call this a test, add the new group, and that's the target list that you're actually going after. And we can start creating a marketing list based upon this. Now with this, we can create our own website, we can add activities, and we can do postcard. We can even do email marketing. We can do postcard marketing, all right from here. But that's not really what I want to be talking about here today, guys. What I really want to be talking about here is calling them. That's where I think the biggest bang for your buck actually is when you're actually calling them. Now, you may have to spend $1,500 to $15,000 to get a good deal, but if you're willing to make the phone calls, that's going to drive the price down. If you want to do postcards, that's going to drive the price drastically up. However, you should be making $30,000 to $60,000 above what your costs are, above that marketing cost when you're making these deals happen. All right, any questions, please type them in here because I would love to help answer them for you. And we're going to get into the complete guide to off-market real estate investing, but I am getting dry. Hopefully I'm not getting dry. If I'm getting dry, please tell me about it. Put it in the comments, but I just meant my throat was getting dry. All right, guys, the complete guide to off-market real estate investing. What you're going to learn today is what is an off-market property, why real estate investors look for them, how to determine equity on a property, my recommendations for finding off-market properties. So off-market properties versus on-market properties. What's the difference here? So the difference is an on-market property is listed on the multiple listing services. An on-market property is listed with a real estate agent. An off-market property is not listed with an agent and is not on the MLS. Why investors want off-market properties? Because they want less competition. I don't want to be competing with everybody else that's going after the property. I want to get better pricing. I don't want to be in competitive situations. It's more flexible. I can make some changes. I can work on some things. I can negotiate for more flexibility. That's really important. But the question that I've got then, and you should probably be asking, is why do home sellers want to sell off-market rather than listing with a real estate agent? Because this is not about how do I trick somebody to sell me the property for next to nothing. That's not what this is. What it is what problems do they have that I can solve that would be worth them taking a significant discount for? Well, convenience for one, right? I can sell it the day I want, the time I want. I don't have to have people walking through my house any time of the day or night. I can close on the date of my choice. What day do you want to close? We'll close then. There's no fix-up or repairs. You just sell the house the way that it sits. So many people are worried about cleaning up the house or making it nice, or maybe they have a property that was a rental property. It's in horrible condition. They have to go in there and do a bunch of stuff in order to get a traditional loan for a new buyer. You don't have to do that. You can sell it as is. You don't have to interview agents. You just get an offer rather than saying, let's find an agent that's going to help us sell the house. Go through that. You just say, I just rather hit the easy button and get an offer. You don't have to worry about appraisals. This is a big deal. Most buyers are going to get hard money or they're going to pay with cash. You don't have to worry about an appraisal or anything else. You don't have to worry about the buyer qualifying for a loan. You don't have to worry about paying any real estate commissions, which are excessive. Those are things you don't have to worry about. And that's one of the reasons why sellers may say, you know what, I'd rather just get an offer than deal with all the headache that we're talking about here. So the question is, how do you find off-market properties? This is the complete guide to that. So you target prospects, you build a list, and then you market to them. That's it. So you've got to say, who are the people I should be going after, and how do I market to those that I should be going after? So we're going to target the prospects. There are two things that we're looking for, and that is equity and motivation. You've got to have those two things. Equity is the difference between what you owe on the property and what the property is actually worth. Motivation is a real and true reason they may want to sell. And when I combine those two together, I'm talking about a dynamite list that I should be going after that makes it my probability of success going up drastically. So the first question is, how do we determine equity? Well, one of the ways we do is using what's called an AVM. And an AVM is basically where we come, and we're just going to come back to our search list here, and we're going to talk about these, okay? An AVM, let's just take this. So this is an estimated value, $161,000. That's an AVM. The average sales price is a makeup of the comps, which is $212,000, okay? So that's the estimated value. So then I can come here and I can say, hey, do we have any mortgage? Do we have anything? Well, looks like they took out some financing for $125,000. Currently, it looks like they've got that paid off, which means the estimated equity is $161,000 of estimated equity on this property. Well, how do we know that? Because we're looking at the loan information and we're seeing how much debt they have on the property. We're looking at the value, which is done by an AVM. Now, is this AVM perfect? No, but what it gives me is knowing that there's some equity on the property and it's worth it to go after. Then if I want to value properties, I can go after and value those properties, but I don't need to do a full deep dive now just to go and do some marketing. It makes it a lot easier for me if I'm a real estate investor. So I use an AVM minus the reverse amortization. Reverse amortization is saying if you took out this loan at this date and you made those payments, how much would you approximately owe right now on the property? Because each month you're paying on that loan, it's paying down the loan principal, which is making it have more equity as long as things aren't changing in the marketplace, okay? So next thing, then that equals the estimated equity that you've got. So how do you get all this? Well, the AVM automated value management system is computerized. This is something that banks used to pay for to verify appraisals and do refinances. Investor's Edge, like I just showed you, has it on each and every property. It's computer generated and it's super easy. The reverse amortization, you can look at an average interest rate for the year that they bought or refinanced. You can put that onto an amortization schedule. You can assume they made all the payments, and on this date, this is approximately the loan balance. Do this for the first and second loans. This gives you estimated equity. This is not perfect, but it's close enough to spend time or money marketing to them, right? I can go make those phone calls, I can send those postcards, whatever the case is. So the question then is, how do you determine motivation? Well, you look at life situations. Somebody may be going through a divorce. They may be going through a bankruptcy, maybe moving out of state, maybe a landlord with a non-owner occupied property, may have involuntary liens, may have a vacant home, maybe going through a pre-foreclosure. There's several of those right now. They maybe failed on the MLS. They put on the MLS and it didn't happen. So this is where the magic happens. This is where you merge equity and motivation together. And that's how we find our motivated sellers. We verify they have the estimated equity, and this equals high quality opportunities, high quality leads that we should be going after, or high quality prospects that we should actually be going after. Now, you need to determine how to get in touch with them. So how are you actually going to get in touch with them? This comes down to marketing and sales. Ways you can get in touch with these guys. You can stop by and knock on the door. It's a way you can get in touch with them. Knock on the door, leave a note, talk to the neighbors. You can do a voice broadcast. You can do phone calls. You can do text messages. You can do email. You can send a postcard or a letter, and you can Facebook stalk them. Those are the ways that you can get in touch with them. There's really not a lot more you can do to get in touch with these people that you've targeted, because somehow you've got to get in front of them. My favorite, my all-time favorite, the one you should be doing today is phone calls. Call them until you talk to them. That's all there is to this. Phone calls, I recommend getting a phone dialer. A phone dialer helps so much because it gives you some organization. It saves you time. It can call 300 people per hour. It leaves voicemails for you so you don't have to. This is probably the biggest reason, is it reduces call reluctance. Because call reluctance is like, every time you have to call, it's like, oh, the last guy was mean to me. Oh, they didn't answer. So you are like, oh, let me just go watch a movie and watch Netflix, right? So the call reluctance keeps you from doing that because you just hit available, and it's calling in the background all these places. And when somebody comes on, pop, you're on. And you can do that fairly inexpensively. I think it's as low as $50 to $150, something like that. So the question is like, what do you say then when someone jumps on the call? What do you actually say to these people? Well, this is my script. Is this the owner? Is this Bill? I was calling about 123 Main Street, and they say, yes. And I'm saying, hey, my name's Ryan. I know this may be a random question, but I'm interested in buying a home in your area and wondering if you're interested in selling. And they say, yes. You move forward with our motivation seller script, which asks them some more details about the property. And if they say no, my answer is always, do you know any other properties or anyone else that may be interested in selling? So if you're interested in going through this process and needing some help, our complete system that takes brand new investors through flipping their first home is called our Find, Fund, Flip system. We have dozens of hours training, deal finding software, access to 100% financing. Go to DoHardMoney.com/get started. All right, guys, I'm going to grab another drink here. Okay, we would love to have you check that out. Now, as promised, we're going to give you the property value analysis. All you've got to do is go over to DoHardMoney.com/livecast-PVA. However, you can also make it a lot easier. Just text me your email address at 435-294-0433. Text your email address, and then we can get this property value analysis over to you. Minik has joined us. Appreciate you being with us. If you guys have liked this podcast, like this live cast, please hit that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, leave a comment on that recorded video, and tell someone else about it. It's the biggest compliment that I could possibly get from you. And make sure you pick up a copy of that property value analysis. Text your email address, 435-294-0433. And one of the things I'd love to know is some future topic ideas you would like to see. These topics come from you. We'd like to know what you're interested in. So I've got several on the screen. If you want to type them in the comments below or in the live chat if you're with us today for future things you'd like to see for future videos, so we can put together these live casts and these trainings that can be helpful for you. Also, if you've liked what you've heard today, please share the link on YouTube with some friends and check out my podcast, my Income Hacker podcast. You can listen to it anywhere where you listen to podcasts, Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it, and it is there, and you can listen in on that. Okay, guys, it is that time of the day, and if you have the right size, I am going to be sending you this is going to be our, let's see, front cam. Let's work here. It looks like it is not happy right now. We are going to be sending you our, I flippin' did it, shirt. Let's jump back to our slides. Okay, there we go. Well, I guess it's not working on the full version, but we're going to send you out the blue flippin' legend for our winner of the week. Our winner for this week is, drum roll please, Cody Champagne. Cody, if you are with us today, please make yourself known, because I want to give you a congratulations, a thank you for being our winner of the week. Congratulations to Cody. Cody, don't forget, this is what you need to do. You need to email support@DoHardMoney.com. In the subject line, put you're the shirt winner. In the screen name, put your mailing address, your cell phone number, your shirt size, and we will get you a free t-shirt sent out. On our dime, we'll do all that. And then Cody, once you get it, like anyone else who has gotten it, please take a picture of yourself and post it on Facebook, DoHardMoney.com backslash, or Facebook.com/DoHardMoney, because we would love to see you. Big congratulations to Cody for being our t-shirt winner of the week. Now, all those who participated this week, if you want to find out if you're the t-shirt winner, please join us next week, same time, same place, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can find out if you are the winner of the week. Let's see. Reeves says, DoHardMoney is real. I say that after 12 years, I've been in the midst of their funding platform. Reeves, thanks, man. We really appreciate that. That's super, super kind for you to say. We really appreciate it. We love doing deals, and we love helping people out. Oh, boy. Looks like my watch wanted to talk. It didn't like me doing all the talking. So next Tuesday at 6 p.m., I'm going to be covering the complete guide of off-market. Nope, that's what I covered today. Next week, we'll be covering a new topic, and I appreciate you being with me. Text your email address to 435-294-0433, and you can get a copy of our property value analysis. All right, guys, thank you so much for being with me. Make it a very profitable day. Bye for now.